Happy Saturday. We are not too far from where I grew up. We're actually near Palestine, Ohio, and we are at the James and Sophia Clemens Farmstead, which is part of a community that was back before and during the Civil War, was a community where people that escaped slavery came to, and they actually lived here.
From Virginia.
All right, so this is the homestead of James and Sophia Clemens, and James was the first black man to be able to purchase property in, was it the German Township area? And they were conductors on the Underground Railroad, and this was one of the places that was part of Longtown. It's actually the main building, and it's being restored. I don't know if you can see inside. You probably see more of my reflection. It is being restored, but this was a community where those escaping slavery would come up to. And of course, you know, they probably, even though staying here and not going on to Canada, they probably risked being captured if they stayed in this area, because there were bounty hunters that would still be looking for them. But it is being restored, but this is part of the Union Literary Institute that we went and seen a while back ago, and we're possibly going to go back, and we're going to actually see if we can do an update on that as well after we're done here. But this whole area is just well manicured. It's just really nice area. The house, there's some windows that are boarded up. It is 2-story, and hopefully it'll be something that they'll open up to the public once they get it done. But it still looks like it's in good condition. And I believe at one time somebody was probably living in it, because it does have electricity hooked up to it. So, and it looks like there's a part that was built on. So it looks like maybe this part was actually built onto it. The barn over here was actually there as well. This would have been James and Sophia's barn. But they didn't only serve as conductors on the Underground Railroad. He also fought in the Civil War. But this was one of many buildings that is still standing, that was part of this community where those that escaped slavery would come to and live. And I mean, it's just a place here. You can find it. It's on Stingley Road here in Ohio, not far from the state line. And I mean, it truly, for how old the house is, it's still really in beautiful condition. The only part that I see that doesn't look so good is just this part that looks like it was added on, because like I said, this doesn't look like it was something that was a part of the original house. So, but I mean, and it has almost that same look that the Levi coffin house actually has. And so it's this was something that we found out about while I was at the Levi coffin house. We actually found out that the Union Literary Institute was part of this. And it is something that's being preserved. So we just thought we'd come out here and take a look. And I mean, this is also, I believe, from looking at this, the Union Literary Institute, it kind of had the same look as this too when it was still 2-story. So is there anything else on there about James and Sophia? What year did they move here?
He moved here with his wife, and arriving with his wife Sophia in 1818 from Virginia.
So they came here from Virginia in 1818. So
they would stay here and attend the Union Literary Institute before continuing their flight to Canada.
Okay, so they'd stayed here, and they actually went to the Union Literary Institute. But it's just amazing how well preserved this is, and of course they're going to be doing more for it. And I mean, somebody's been out here. This whole area has been manicured very well, and like that barn, yeah. I mean, that's the original barn. I'm sure there's been updates done to it. As you can see, there's some places that need to be patched. But I mean, to look at something that's been here since, did they say how long the house has been here?
I didn't say.
I think they said 1820, didn't they?
I don't remember seeing it.
So this is another thing we're going to be keeping an update on. So we're going to leave here, and we're going to go on, and we're probably going to go ahead and go and take another look at the Union Literary Institute again and see if anything's been done there since we were there in April. So I mean, it's been a few months. This is the front of the house. Well, it's the part that's actually pointing from the road, but being that it's on this side of the road, you would think those escaping slavery may have came through this door, or if there was a side door like the Levi Coffin House. And we can't get inside, so there might be areas where they actually were able to hide those that were escaping slavery as well. So this is something that we want to keep up on and watch and see how they restore it. It'll be something neat. As you can see, they also have a basement, because you can see windows were boarded up there. So I'm sure there's something to see down there. Now, this place might not have a well like the Levi Coffin House had, because due to the fact it was already a community that and that's where those escaping from slavery, it wouldn't be something it would have to hide like what they did over in Fountain City. But yeah, it was called Longtown, Ohio. And before that was called Tampico, which is funny because the one road we came up from was it Greenville, Tampico? Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was Hollinsburg, Tampico Road that we came up on, and we're actually on Stingley Road. And it's just amazing to find stuff like this. So we're going to move on. I think we're going to go down and take a look at the Union Literary Institute and see if anything's been done to it. But this kind of stuff I find amazing. They didn't have a historic sign like they did at the Union Literary Institute, but yeah, it's something to come out and see and just walk around. I mean, like I said, you can't get inside, but I just find stuff like this interesting. I mean, this is a part of history. Like I said, it's something that should be celebrated at this time. And basically, I mean, you know, they're probably they probably were helped by Quakers, since those were abolitionists. And it's just amazing. Even though you can see the wear and tear on the barn, is how long this barn's actually stood, because it's been here since the early 1800s. So I was gonna see if maybe if there was something in here.
You can look at this side.
I can look right in here. It just looks like an old barn. All right, so we made it to the Union Literary Institute, and I gotta walk back here, and it's in a field. It's not exactly mowed, and I'm not exactly in particularly good shoes to be walking in to a field that hasn't been unmowed. But I'm walking up to it. I'm gonna get as close as I can, so I won't get right up to it like we did, but I will put this in the playlist, and the Union Literary Institute is in that video, so you will be able to go and see it. It was freezing cold that day. It was in April, so let me get you turned back around so you can see the building. All right, and that is the Union Literary Institute, where was a school building where they would allow anyone of any race or gender to actually get educated here. And let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, take a look at it. So like I said, if I had better shoes on, I'd walk over there. It doesn't look like anything's been done since the last time we've been here, so hopefully somebody will be out here working on it. I will go up and show you the sign again. So yeah, so just an update of the Union Literary. So hopefully they'll be doing something soon to it. I just find this stuff interesting, knowing about what happened back then. I mean, we're talking about stuff that took place almost 200 years ago, and it's still here for us to see. And it's just so interesting to me, and just to see that kind of the people that actually did what they did, not only to escape slavery, but those to help those that were escaping slavery. But I'm going to come up here and we're going to take a look at the sign again, and I'll read it out to you. And I did this in the last video, but we'll do it again. So, but this area down here, it's still well manicured. Hopefully you're going to be taking care of the rest of it. All right, let's take a look at this sign, and I'll read it to you as we're looking at it. So it says, the Union Literary Institute. Union Literary Institute was one of the first schools to offer higher education without regard to color or sex before the Civil War. It was established in 1846 by a biracial board including free blacks from nearby settlements. At the time, Indiana laws did not allow blacks to attend the public schools. Students labored 4 hours a day in exchange for room and board. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the other side. All right. The school was supported by local and national donations, including land. Ebenezer Tucker was the first teacher. A notable attendee included Hiram Revels, the first black U.S. Senator, and James S. Hinton, the first black elected to the Indiana House of Representatives. In 1860, a two-story brick structure was built. The school was a noted Underground Railroad stop. So yeah, I mean, this kind of history that was nearby where I grew up is something that's really great. I did not know that this was this close to where I grew up, and it's just really amazing to me. And I mean, if you got time and you live near close, come out and see it. If it's something where you're going to see the Levi and Catherine Coffin house, I mean, it's not that far away. It's a little ways away. Fountain City's probably about, at least, it's less than 50 miles away, but it's just something to come out and see, and it's a part of that history that is kind of amazing. But as for that, that's going to be the end of the video, so catch us on our next adventure.